What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Thank you for being here on this morning. Running a few minutes late. Apologies for that. With the wonderful people from Acadian Home Theaters and Automation at the house. Little maintenance work on our outside TV, courtesy of our friends over at Cox Communications. When we switched our modem, kind of threw everything offline, so getting all that reset and all that good stuff today. All right, busy day, and by the way, only have time for about 15 minutes or so this morning. Got a Hudco call at 8:30, and then GameCoin call at 9 o'clock. So a lot this morning. So if you've got questions, comments, you know the drill, fire away. If you're with us live, if you're not, thanks for watching on demand whenever you are. YouTube, go ahead, smash that like button. Facebook, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Okay, so a busy night tonight. Got LSU-ULL in baseball, the Pontiff Classic, and Game 2, Pelicans-Suns from out in Phoenix. If you missed it yesterday, we had Nick Pontiff on AFR. And kind of filled in why this is the last year of the Pontiff Classic, kind of filled us in on all that. Basically, the long story short, I didn't know all this, but the long story short is that the game was at Zephyr Field for all those years. Well, when the Shrine on Airline, when the Zephyrs left, they didn't get a new baseball team. And so the NOLA Gold Rugby is now the occupant of the Shrine on Airline, and so they've converted that stadium to a rugby field, so it's not configured to host baseball anymore. So they don't really have a place to hold the game. And you can say, what about the box? And the issue is, LSU can travel for a game, and we're willing to do that for the Pontiff Classic for all these years, but it is a money deal where you're giving up a home gate, and for a sport like baseball, I mean, it does matter, and I get it where where you're break even, maybe a little bit in the black. Excuse me. So it really comes down to a financial issue, and that would have been a really big ask. And Nick said, they'll foundation state, and then they also the person he said that was responsible for organizing, putting on the event every year, passed due to COVID complications. So we just kind of said it kind of felt like it was time. So in any event, so LSU-ULL tonight. So the Pontiff Classic, of course, is always a great night, but it's important, baseball game for LSU to maybe go get a little feel good in the belly again before Missouri comes in this weekend for a 3-game series. That LSU, just quite honestly, like, this is one where if you want to make a push, certainly if you want to be a push to be a regional host, you got to win the series. I mean, you just don't have any option here. If and this is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series again, by the way. So if you want to, if you want to be a regional host, you got to make a push, and it starts. You got to win these series at home. And to be honest, you're going to have to probably sweep somewhere along the way. If you win each of your 5 remaining series, 2-1, that puts you at 17-13. That could be good enough. It should be good enough to host a regional. Because as you keep playing more SEC games, your RPI is going to continue to improve. They're in the low 20s right now, so it'll keep getting better. But sweeping the series would be great. Missouri's tough; they really can't hit it. So we'll see. But anyway, so Pontiff Classic tonight, and then Pels-Suns tonight as well. Game 2. It was interesting. We had Graf on the show yesterday on AFR, and you kind of previewing, talking about the play-in and then Game 1 and the series. And I mean, very realistic approach. Said, look, the goal has to be just get the series back to Phoenix, which means win at least a game, get it to Game 5, because they'll play 2-2-1-1-1. That's how they do the home and away in the NBA playoffs. So 2 in Phoenix, 2 in New Orleans, and Phoenix, New Orleans, Phoenix for Game 7 if it gets there. But like I said, the goal right now is just get it back to Phoenix. which is very realistic. You know, I mean, you're playing the best team in the NBA. You were definitely tired. It showed early in game one. But let's see what adjustments they make. Best of 7 series a lot of times are about adjustments. And the interesting thing is a lot of times you'll go play it 7 times and you'll see a different game all 7 times. So see what adjustments both teams make. And hang on one second, Drew's backpack's beeping. Sorry about that. Weird week. Drew's off school, Erica's off of school, so they're still sleeping and just a little delayed kind of schedule throw it off. But anyway, all right, let's say some good mornings here. Quentin Breakbill, Rocky Jacques, good morning. Megan Hurst, good morning. Heading over from Boston. How'd it go, Megan? Ran my second fastest marathon. Earned another Boston qualifying time. Those hills were brutal. Well, happy for you, Megan. Congrats. A great accomplishment either way. Was thinking about you yesterday whenever I saw the finishers. The Kenyans won on the women's side and the Americans won again on the men's side, if I'm not mistaken. So, but that's awesome. Just to finish is incredible. And, I mean, to run Boston, I mean, you have to qualify to run Boston. It's not a lottery or anything. I mean, you have to run a qualifying time. So you're a beast. Congratulations. Pat Huseman, good morning. Chance Babin, did they used to have the Winn-Dixie Classic in the Superdome? They did, yes. So I guess you're wondering if they could play the Pontiff Classic there. The tough part about that is I believe the Shrine on Airline was always donated to them, like they didn't have to pay for it. If you were going to have an event in the Superdome, you'd probably have to pay a rental fee. I'm sure you would have to pay a rental fee, which I don't know that you could make it work financially to make it make sense. Charlie Cavell, David Coslin, Greg Phillips, Uland, Dat Champ, good morning, good morning. Connor O'Neill, what up? Trivia Carter, Jay Reach, good morning. Wendell Norman, Larry Garner, Rap in Batches, Tim Gotro. Sean Comiskey, good morning, Matt. I've had a bad feeling about this game tonight at ULL. Matt Deggs always maximizes his talent. ULL will pounce on any miscues in the field. Maybe so. I mean, look, they've had a good program there for a long time. I mean, Tony Robichaux built a consistent winning program. You know, Matt Deggs obviously is taken that torch. So midweek games are so much about pitching, and there's an unpredictability because a lot of times if you're ULL, you look at the midweek matchup, and this isn't being derogatory, this is just honest. Like, you look at the midweek matchup as a great RPI opportunity where you get to play a road game at LSU, top 30 RPI team. It's a win that if you get it, could stand out on a resume if you're vying for an at-large bid. Like, it matters to them. So it's one of those situations where sometimes in midweek games, you may see LSU's opponent throw a pitcher that they might normally use on the weekend because it gives them a better opportunity to win that midweek game. Whereas for LSU, you're never going to burn Mikhail Hilliard or Dutton or Taylor or Blake Money on a Tuesday night. You need them for the weekend. Winning your SEC games is paramount. We talk about this all the time. So, yeah, I mean, sure, you could lose, but, I mean, UL is 20-15. They're not exactly having an amazing season. Let's see, a little bit about the Cajuns. They're 9-6 in the league, but they've won 11 of 15. They beat ULM 2 out of 3 last week. Hitting just 258 as a team. That's the strange thing. The fact that they're not hitting. They're hitting 258 as a team. And as a staff, their ERA is 4.19. I mean, they're not great. I mean, this isn't one of their more dominant teams. So, yeah, LSU should be able to go out today and slug the baseball. We'll see if they can. Vino, good morning. Haven't heard you speak on it. How do you feel about Edo going to Notre Dame? No, so he went with his sons. And I think it's one of them got a job at Miami, and I think this was Cody, who just finished playing at McNeese. I think he's trying to get him a job. So I think that's why they were up there. But I don't care that happens all the time, man. Coaches go and speak at other places, and they go watch practice and shadow things. I mean, remember when Lane Kiffin went and was shadowing Alabama practice? It was a big, before Nick hired him, and then ultimately Nick hired him. I mean, it's whatever. Ed will probably get back into coaching next year somewhere as a position coach, as a defensive line coach, as a recruiter, and good for him. I mean, he's okay. I don't begrudge him or anyone of anything like that. I mean, whatever. LSU-ULL, LSU's going 4-0 this week. Book it. Careful, man. Missouri can swing it, and LSU's not exactly a juggernaut in the field. They play a clean defensive weekend. Sure, they can win. But man, Missouri had Tennessee on the ropes in one of those games. It's baseball. I always hesitate predicting a sweep. Hope you're right, but Charlie Cavell, hate the fact that affiliated or independent baseball is no longer played in Louisiana. This state has such rich baseball history. It's just disappointing. Yeah, I mean, I hear you, Charlie, but I think you'd probably also agree with me that collegiate baseball in the state has gotten such a foothold. I mean, Skip grew the LSU program, and I know Ron Masher was at UNO prior, but really, he had success there, but it wasn't like people watched or cared. Skip built LSU, and then everything followed, man. Tulane ended up going to the College World Series, and ULL went to College World Series under Tony Robichaux. And, you saw J.R. Teagues build a strong program at Southeastern, and Matt Risers carried it. You have good baseball, college baseball played in the state. It feels like that's where people's loyalty and allegiance goes. I'm with you, but we as a state also never supported any minor league teams. So I kind of get it. Truax, good morning. Where are we? Shane Michael, yo, Rapping Batch is late for work this morning. The neighbor's cat decided to put kittens in the bumper of my wife's car. Had to pop the hood, dig them out. What the hell? Wow. How do you put kittens in a bumper? That's bizarro world. Man. Shane O'Mac, good morning. Shane, I can drive a marathon. I ran 2, and I'll tell you, man, the first one I ran was Marine Corps in 2005 up in D.C., and around mile 21, I hit a wall, and those last 5.2 were brutal. The last 10K basically was just brutal. A year later, I got in the lottery and ran New York and shaved about an hour off my time, so felt a little vindicated. Will never, ever do it again, and would not recommend anybody do it. The training, especially if you have joint pain, like my feet, knees, back are just wrecked from that. And as great of an accomplishment as running those and finishing those marathons was, I don't know that it's really worth it considering the pain I have, the compression in my neck and spine. I would probably not, if you said, hey, could you go back, I would probably not do it, honestly, knowing what I know now. Tim Gotros, that's like, man, I got so much respect for people that run many and not only, but have, qualifying times for Boston. I mean, you are a monster if you could do that. You're just different. Tim Gotro, can't think of any possible survival situation where I'd run 20 plus miles, much less do it for fun. Congrats on finishing. 26.2, by the way. Yeah, man, your boy's got his finisher plaques up there. I don't know if y'all can even see him. Let's see, I'll show Facebook, then I'll show YouTube. Well, hang on. Wait. Facebook. Okay, let's see. There you go. See it, Facebook? See him right there? That's New York. That was DC. Those are my finisher plaques. My medals are at my office, but guarantee. YouTube, you want to see? New York, DC. Let's see. George Wright Meyer, what's up? Chance Babin. I get joint pains thinking about running a marathon. Vino, do you think Garrett Nussmeier is dark horse in the quarterback competition? I mean, is he the dark horse? Of course he is, but he's not going to start. I mean, respect. I understand. Like here's how I would say it, Vino. It was like last year in training camp. It was all this Jameis, Taysom, Jameis, Taysom, Taysom, Jameis. Hey, look, it's a quarterback competition, and there's days when Taysom looks really good, and they go out there and they're alternating, starting in the preseason, and ultimately it was what we knew it was going to be all along. It was Jameis, and I think right now we're looking at a two-man race. Like we're looking at Miles or Jaden, the guy that's a 6-year player, the guy that started 30 games. It's not to say Garrett's not good or won't play eventually or be really good, but it's what it is. Like, you can only play one of them. So, is he a dark horse? Is he competing? Has he been consistent? All that can be true. Doesn't mean he's going to start. All right, smash that like button if you're there on YouTube. Only 6 likes. So take a second and hit the like button, please. And if you've not done so yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Facebook, like the page, share the post. By the way, when I say like the page, share the post, I don't mean like the post. I mean like the Matt Moscona page. So when you go to the page, you'll see the little thumbs up like button. Please like the page. I appreciate that. Lawrence Burley, Kelly Gross, Lee Allen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, a couple more here. Randall Offrecht. Morning, Matt. Why did ULL fire? Rob, I think you mean Rob. They didn't. Coach Robichaux died. He wasn't fired. He died a few years ago in the off season. It rocked that community, that program, certainly. I mean, I don't even know that he was 60 years old. Brad Johnson, Eric Wallerod, always remember the height of the Classic when Tulane was going to Omaha every year and they packed out the park. Not to be like super like detailed, but Tulane went to Omaha twice. They went 01 and I think they went back in 05. So they weren't going every year. But to your point, Eric, yes, Tulane had a stretch there under Rick Jones where they were really good. Yes. And yeah, I mean the Classic. I know they alternated opponents a lot, but and if I'm not mistaken, 2008. Good to go. Thank you, sir.
Did you use to be on the phone?
I'm doing a Facebook Zoom or live. So you're on.
Do you use that remote outside?
Only to turn the TV on. Only if I'm using the smart TV capabilities.
And then you use the Control 4 remote outside?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how to change it?
Yes. So Control 4 is working outside?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Everything, all your IP schemes match up now.
Okay,
You're all
perfect.
good.
You're awesome, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Big shout out to Acadian. If you need anything from like TV, music, lighting, sound, Wi-Fi, like they are the best. Acadian Home Theater, they are the best. They're so easy to work with and they are so responsive. They have a 24-hour service that I called on Easter night, like 7 o'clock on Easter Sunday. And they had an on-call rep from Acadian locally who called me back at like 7 and 8 o'clock at night on Easter. It was incredible. Like they're awesome. I could not recommend them highly enough. Like if you got speaker, TV, sound, IT stuff, like you want to, they wired they put my TV in my office, they put the TV outside, they wired speakers, they connected everything and the whole house, made it just on one app. It's like, I could not be more happy with the work they do. Okay. So So shout out to Acadian Home Theater. They're on Perkins. They have like the neon green sign. Eric, between spring game, draft, Pels, baseball, what do you think AFR audience cares most about? Crazy how much is going on. So Eric, I say that every year. People always assume, oh, football, and it's true. And during the fall, we go deep on one topic, just football, right? But I love the spring because you have spring football, you have the NFL draft, you have LSU baseball, you have LSU basketball if it carries deep enough into March. When the Pelicans are good, they're obviously relevant. Not only NFL draft, but free agency and all that stuff that goes through as well. Like, you have such a wide variety of things going on in the spring, where you may not go deep on one topic, but you go wide on a lot of topics, and I think it makes it a lot of fun. So, actually, our best, and I don't know, I would need to check to see if this is still true, but in the early years of AFR, the best ratings book we ever had was a fall book. I'm sorry, it was a spring book, because it was, in radio, ratings are fall, winter, spring, summer. There are 4 ratings books. And there was a spring book where I want to say it was the spring of 2011. And in that spring, I'm pretty sure I have this right. LSU baseball missed the postseason that year, which was terrible. But LSU baseball missed the postseason, so there was a lot of angst. Basketball fired Trent Johnson, hired Johnny Jones. The NFL had their lockout, so that was a big deal. Like, were they going to play? Were they not going to play? College football realignment. That's when the big summer of realignment happened. When LSU added A&M and Missouri and Nebraska and Maryland went to the Big Ten, and it looked like Texas and Oklahoma were going to the Pac-12 and didn't. And that was such a... Anyway, my point is, like, there was... I can't remember what was going on with the Hornets. If maybe that was when the Bensons bought the Hornets. I don't remember exactly. But there was another big story. Anyway, point is, like, that spring, it was just like all these boom, 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 like giant stories. And and it was like our biggest ratings book on AFR. And I mean, that was like, we were 2-3 years into the show, or maybe 2 years into the show at that point. But it was our biggest ratings book, was the spring book. It's 8:27. I got an 8:30 Hudco call. Sorry to get bounced here in a second. Or got to bounce here in a second. Trivia, when I was stationed in Virginia, I had to do the Marine Corps Marathon. I still curse my command for making me do it. Hey, man, a lot of those guys ran that race in full combat gear. Like with, what do you call them, like ruck packs? Is that it? Like, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ruck packs or whatever. In boots. Some would carry flags. They would run the whole race. I mean, dude, that was, yeah. One of the coolest things I was finishing the Marine Corps Marathon, man. When you finish the Marine Corps Marathon, you come down that stretch of highway with Arlington National Cemetery on your left and the Pentagon on your right. And all the Marines that are there working the race present you with your medal. So that was pretty awesome. I mean, yeah, chill bump type moment. Jay Reach tells me to give Trey Murphy more of Jackson's minutes. You know, it's interesting. Maybe Jay Reach, but it'll be interesting to see what they do tonight. Best of 7 is always about matchups. The Pels have been their best when they've gone big with that rotation to start, and it's such a contrast to what Phoenix does. So, but they started slow the other night, so we'll see. D. Good morning. All right, y'all, think we're just about done. Darren Reeves, morning, Matt. What's your prediction for LSU baseball? I believe they get back on track 4-0 this week. I don't predict sweeps, man. I'll say they win tonight and go 2-1 against Missouri. So, and that's all you need. You need to win each remaining series. You do that, you finish 17-13. You're probably hosting a regional. I hope they sweep, but I'm not expecting it. Not from this team. Derek, not when you're piecing together all 3 games in a weekend and your defense is bad. Derek Taylor, Chance Babin, how many transfers are you expecting after the spring game? Don't know, but there's always some. Lee Allen, man, how good is Graf compared to other radio play-by-play guys? I love Graf's like just raw, authentic energy is what makes him an awesome. And I mean, obviously he knows the game. He's very good at calling it technically, but that's what sets guys apart, really, and ladies. ULand, you like the USFL? I didn't watch any of it, man. But good luck to them. I hope they make it. If they were having the games in their respective cities, I think you'd have a much better product. But having them, I get why financially you're having all of them in Birmingham. So you're not having travel and all those other expenses. But that's also going to hurt you with gate. All right, y'all. Ooh, trivia. You did have to do it in boots and unis, too. Brutal. When were you there, Trivia? I did 05. I'm curious when you were there. Might have been around the same time. All right, I got to go, y'all. I got to get on this Hudco call. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need orthopedics, go to Brock, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. By the way, if you are going to the Pontiff Classic tonight, Hudco is going to have a tailgate set up, bullpen lot, so near the Marucci Performance Center. Look for the orange Hudco tent. Our buddy Hot Rod Beloso is going to be doing a giant pot of jambalaya, so free jambalaya as long as it lasts. Get yourself something to drink. Terry will be there. Hot Rod Beloso will be out there. So I believe they're going to start about 2 hours before first piece, like 4:30. So if you're getting out to the box tonight, tell a friend. Go see our friends at the Hudco tent. All right, y'all. We'll see you. Peace.